Guys, last season, the Houston Rockets led the NBA with 1,256 made threes. 30 years ago, your Celtics led the league. Any guess how many they hit?
Oh, my God. I have no idea.
271.
Yeah, I was going to say,
whole season.
Way less. I know that much.
How did you guys win?
Boy.
Yeah, we punch inside. We got 3 points the old-fashioned way. Go to work on you, get fouled, and go to the line.
Yeah.
So we obviously that's been the thing the last few years, positionless basketball, pace and space. What's next? What's the next big trend coming?
I mean, I think it's probably more the same. And more, continuing to shoot the ball from the perimeter, less going to the basket, or at least being in the post, mid-range game, going away from that. I mean, now you're having more and more bigs who can spread the floor. I remember when I came in, I played with a guy, Terry Mills, who was one of the first stretch fours. And he was, just so unusual to have a guy in that role who's a big guy who shot the ball well from the perimeter. Now, if you can't do that, then you can't play. And I don't know necessarily if that's a good thing, but that's the league that we're in, and I think that'll continue.
Yeah, what's the tipping point? When does it change? And it's interesting, looking back even at last year, only 5 of the top 10 teams in terms of made threes made the postseason. Mm-hmm. It's not a guarantee you're going to be good playing that.
No, I think everything goes in cycles in our league, and I've been around the league a long time, seen a lot of different cycles in our league. It's cycling right now, really high 3. I think what's going to happen, you're going to get some low post guys that just go to work. And all of a sudden, it's all percentages, okay? The thing about the 3 is they call it, the real shooting percentage because you get the extra point and that stuff. You get some dude that's scoring in the paint at about 70% of the time. Olajuwon, you didn't double team Olajuwon and just let him go to work and let him shoot his little jump hook going over his left shoulder. How many of those you can make out of 10?
He's going to make 9.
Yeah.
But that's what I was going to say, Kevin. I just feel that it's going to be a transitional player. The same way, and really, to me, I think it's the Steph Curry effect. He was the transitional player and said, hey, at 175, 80 pounds, I could transition and change the game. There's going to be a Shaquille O'Neal type. There's going to be a Hakeem Olajuwon, a Kevin McHale type that says, yeah, if you get 10 shots, I will make 8 out of 10 from inside. So now I will change the dynamic of the game. I won't make 6 out of 10 and give you 12 points and you make 4 out of 10 and get the same. No, I'm going to make 8. And that will change the game and change the dynamic because it is a copycat league. And everyone, when the Detroit Pistons were winning, everyone's like, oh, we need 3 guards. That's how the Houston Rockets were built. Everyone copies who's winning. And when the Houston Rockets bow out early, possibly, Golden State bows out early, then all of a sudden, whoever wins, that's what people follow.
It's interesting because you've got Joel Embiid in Philadelphia, for instance, who has the potential. He's got the size, he's got footwork and some touch to be that dominant post player. But what does he want to do? He wants to go shoot threes.
But he's a hybrid, though. He can shoot the threes, but like you said, he can also play.
I don't know if he's dominant like those guys in the post.
Well, I think he has to do it. I think he has to challenge himself. He's still young enough, and he's got the size.
Right.
And we're talking about a right hook. We're not talking about a fancy move. And he has the size, the footwork, the speed and agility to, possibly dominate down there. But it's on him to, I'm not saying don't shoot the 3 and handle the ball. He can do those things, but his bread and butter should be in that paint. And if he controls that paint, I mean, they've already got shooters.
Yeah.
He could possibly be that person right now.
The other thing that I see is getting ready to happen, and Kenny, this is going to hurt you and I, right? The small guards, we're going to start getting phased out because McHale, Bosh, Grant, these are the sizes of the point guards that are coming in. So when I came into the league, remember, Mac, they was phasing out the small point guards, right? It was Michael Ray Richardson, Reggie Theus, Magic Johnson.
They even moved Jordan to the point for a year.
Everybody had 6'7", 6'8" point guards, and it was very controversial to draft me at 6'1", coming, I lied about being 6'1", but everybody got that extra inch, right? But, it's controversial to take a small guy number 2, right? And then we won. Then everybody went back to the small point guards. I see right now everybody is sizing up, and we call small ball, but everybody out on the floor is 6'8", 6'9", 7'2". It ain't small no more.
I did the playoffs last year with the Philly-Boston series, okay? Philly could not get anything going on the perimeter at all against Boston those first few games. When they made the game interesting is when they started going inside. Dario Saric couldn't get a damn shot off against Jason Tatum and those guys. He went in the post and had, in the last 2 games, he had 27 and 25 points. He had 27 points in the first 3 games combined. They changed up. They just threw him in the post. It still works.
Yeah.
But you got to be willing to do it. But here's why it worked. Because he couldn't get a damn shot off against Brown, Smart. And I mean, I'm telling you right now, they were just up in his grill. It's going to change with somebody like an Embiid, or someone's going to get the flow going in the other direction with a little bit bigger players.
One of the things, though, you talk about having that transformational player, and I think Embiid could do that. He's not a Shaq, but I think in this modern game, he could dominate inside. But to your point, he doesn't want to. And I think you have a generation of young people now, big guys. They're not working on their hook shots and their post moves. They want to handle the ball like Isaiah Thomas, like Kenny Smith. You know, they want to do things on the like. That's the game. That's what they're seeing. That's what they're trying to be. Kevin Durant, 6'11". Man, if I'm a 6'10", 6'11" kid now, I want to do that. And so you're not sort of breeding, if you will, or the mindset of big guys at a young age, learning how to play with their back to the basket and wanting them to understand the importance of they're copying what they see in the NBA. So I do think if a Shaquille O'Neal comes along, somebody like that who's so dominant, yes, who's transformational, I think it can swing back, and I hope it does, because I actually think having diversity of, you know, in terms of how to score and how to play, can only help your team be at its best.
Well, I was going to ask you about the impact on the league as well, because there can be a sameness to some of the offenses around the league right now because of this trend. Is there a tipping point in terms of this number of threes per game is just too many from a stylistic point of view?
Well, I mean, my thing is I don't think it necessarily. I don't think you have to be inside out necessarily, but I think mid-range. I think being able to, you know, score at the free throw line, get to the paint, get to the rim, you know, have more balance in that regard. When you have a guy like Durant who can go get you a basket, can get to the line, can hit mid-range shots, now that's harder to guard.
Yeah, you ever go in certain neighborhoods and all the houses look the same? That's what it's starting to look like to me. Like every player skill set is the same. There is no diversity of skill set. Like, I could shoot the 3 or I could run for a dunk. Where's my ball handlers? Where's my guys who can post up, who can defend on the post? It looks like a neighborhood that's built the same, and I think that's where the league will change, because I don't think that's good for the league where everything looks the same.
I think, you know, with the record that the Rockets set, that couldn't help them in Game 7 in their building. You
Missed
know.
27 in a row.
Right. You missed 27 in a row. Like Grant was saying, having that balance, you got to have some kind of balance. Just because it's run and gun and just because the Warriors are shooting threes, they carve you up on the inside and in the paint. Nobody talks about that. But with that said, you have to have a balance to the game. Basketball is basketball. You still got the post, you've got the elbow, you've got threes, you've got point guards, shooting guards, even in this positionless form, but you can't rely on just one thing.
I don't even know if Ben Simmons needs to get a jump shot. If he became a better foul shooter, I think Ben Simmons can control the basketball game and not necessarily score 25 points. But at the end of the game, you look at it and say, man, this guy killed us.
Steal game that you go, damn, that guy was the best player on the floor. And he didn't put up these crazy numbers. I'm looking forward to looking at Ayton, you know, the guy coming in with Phoenix. I just think he's interesting to me. He's got a little touch. He's got a big body. He's got some footwork. I'd like to see if this guy can be a guy that can score in the post. He can make a 15, 16-footer. He can block some shots. There's some really good young guys that drive their teams. You know, Donovan Mitchell, Spider Mitchell last year, he turned it around. He became way more efficient in Utah, and they started winning games on his efficiency alone. So I look at I think our league is blessed right now with some really, really good young talent that I'm looking forward to watch.
I would go with Ben Simmons. I just I like what Philly has. I like the way they play. I like their length on defense. I think they could be, if they wanted to, the best defensive team in the league. But that, you know, they have to make a decision to want to do that. But him playing at the point guard, I think he's in an interesting position. He can take it a lot of different ways. You know, he can say, I'm going to shoot, I'm going to work on my game, or he can say, I'm going to get my guys involved. I'm going to be a great defensive player. I'm going to tell Joel to get down inside and duck in. I'm going to duck in and take advantage of my size as well. Just his versatility and what he brings to that team and the game, I think, you know, it can be a very, very interesting ceiling for him and those guys.
You mentioned the shooting, and that's the obvious weakness with Ben Simmons right now. How much better a shooter does he have to become to be the guy in this group that emerges?
I mean, he doesn't have to do it right now. I think for him, I think we all had things we had to develop over the course of our career, and you're not going to have everything right away. Him being creative in finding out ways to score and get his team involved despite not shooting it so well, that'll be good for him until he develops that shot. But he just has to keep working.
I'm interested now to see Lonzo Ball because I've watched him in high school, grow up. I watched him in college, and then I watched his dad become a star. And so that pressure of his dad being the star, not him, and all of that influx is gone because there's a guy named LeBron James in town. So we haven't heard anything about his dad since LeBron has been in town, honestly. Like, not one word. So that allows him to develop possibly. 6'6", his ability to rebound, push the ball, and find things with LeBron James. And then, and maybe not even this year, with Rondo, because Rondo's a right now guy. But I think that development will help him being around in that environment where the most important thing is the game, not what was said about the game. I think that development for him could be special.
You know, you think about these young, first of all, the great thing about the league is there's always an influx of great talent coming through the pipeline. And we certainly have that. And Tatum, who, you know, went to that great school, and I don't know if there's been a rookie that
You go to
has...
North Carolina?
Hey, listen, man. Hey, listen, no. Our biggest stars aren't players. We own teams now.
Okay, we do too. We do too.
We own teams, y'all. Y'all can play the game. We own it too. We own it too.
We do too. That's fine. I'll say about Tatum, I don't know if I've seen a rookie with the skill set. A guy so young with the step back and all the moves. He has that at such a young age. And Mitchell, what he did last year was fantastic. But I got to agree with Chris. Ben Simmons. I think he has a chance to be a transformational type of player. I think of, like, Kevin Durant, sort of what he does at his size. This guy's 6'10" and handles the ball. You know, I'm not saying like Isaiah, I don't want to be disrespectful, but he comes at you with the bop-bop.
Right.
You know, not a lot of big guys come at you with the through the legs crossover and can dance with the basketball. So one, he does that. Two, like Alonzo Ball, he really tries to pass and think the game and get everybody involved. And he can dominate a game, and he hasn't even figured out how to score yet. Once he learns how to shoot the basketball, it doesn't have to be Steph Curry, it doesn't have to be a great shooter. But when he can be a good shooter and can incorporate that and have the confidence and still have the ability now to dribble and pass and find people, rebound, he's 6'10", could defend. I mean, I think of you as a defender, as a big guy who could guard multiple positions. Look, all those guys are great players. I think they're all going to be all-stars and they have a chance to be special. But I mean, he has a chance to really sort of bring a different style and dominate the game in a way that we really haven't seen before.
Do you think he can play a point guard his entire career?
Yeah, I think so, because of what both of y'all just said about Alonzo Ball. They both are givers. They both want to help each other, right? They both want to pass the basketball. But I don't even know if Ben Simmons needs to get a jump shot. I just think he needs, right now, if he became a better foul shooter, if he got up to 80, 85, hey, you know, he's getting fouled, he's going to the basket, he's scoring, and he knows how to win. I think he's one of the guys that's playing right now, like Magic Johnson used to play, or I used to play, or Stockton used to play, where, you know, you can control a basketball game, and I think Ben Simmons can control a basketball game and not necessarily score 25 points, but at the end of the game, you look at it and say, man, this guy killed us.
Simmons was at 56% last year in terms of the free throw line.
Wow. Can you imagine if he's 80? if
75.
he's 80, if he's 80 or 75, right? Then they probably beat the Celtics. You know?
We'll get into some season predictions when we come back on Open Court.
I want to see LA and the Warriors.
You want to see the Lakers?
Oh yeah, I want to see all the old school rivalry dudes
Are
come
you
back out and get
predicting
it
the
going.
Lakers and the Warriors?
Yeah, sure, why not?
There are no repercussions. That's true.